A really important and easily maintainable part of your bike is the humble chain. Chains are super important. A clean chain is going to last 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers. A clean chain is also going to be a lot faster, quieter. Also, your cassette, jockey wheels or pulleys, your chain rings, they're also going to last a lot longer. So if you have a clean chain, you're going to have a lot faster bike. And also, it's going to save you a bunch of money in the long run. Step one in our chain maintenance, let's make sure that this chain is still in good enough condition to ride. So we have the good basic chain checker, easy operation. You simply hook it into the link and press down with a little bit of force. If your chain checker can go all the way in, you know your chain has stretched. They don't exactly stretch, but it has worn and it is time to replace. But like this one, it does not go into the link. So we know this chain is still fine, so we can go on to step number 2, which is let's clean it again. Okay, so let's start washing that chain or cleaning that chain. We have the new updated Super B chain cleaner, and it is definitely an upgrade from the old one. This one, it's quite easy to take apart and put back together. And then right here, we have a, whoops, handy little funnel, and you can pour in your degreaser. And then we have a lever right here where we can control how much degreaser flows into the rest of the tool. Okay, open it up. Now we can add a little detergent, like so, and now that we're nice and clean, okay, after using the chain cleaner, there's still going to be a little bit of degreaser around there. So what I like to do is just take an old rag, wipe off that extra degreaser, and then at the same time, I pinch the pulleys gently, the bottom pulley, and then the top pulley. And that's just to get some of that build-up chain oil off. Okay, now that your chain's clean, it's gotten the degreaser off, it's dry, it's time to add some oil to it. So what I do is I look for a point of reference. Usually it's the quick link, and with this one it is the chain pin that we put in. It's a different color than the other ones. One of the big mistakes people make is they put just too much oil on. You do want some oil for sure, but too much, it attracts dirt and it'll actually make your chain a lot dirtier quicker and wear out faster. So starting at your point of reference, just give it a drop, 1 per link, just a small drop. You don't need much. And you're gonna work your way around the chain. Again, you just need a little bit. You want a little bit of oil between the links, but you really don't want any on the plates because that's gonna collect the dirt. And then what I do, because I do really like a dry chain, after I've let it sit for a few minutes and I've worked it into the chain, I'll actually take my rag again and just wipe off any extra oil or excess oil that might be outside that I just don't really need. And that usually leaves you a nice clean chain that you won't need to touch again for at least another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Okay, so one thing you really want to check from time to time with your bike are the torques of all the bolts, especially for a bike like a gravel bike. Gravel bikes, they take a lot of abuse, they're always rattling, and especially areas like the headset, they like to get a little bit loose over time. So what you're gonna wanna do is get a torque wrench. With modern bikes, they use very thin materials, they're super fast, they're super light. They're also a bit delicate in some ways. One way they're delicate is to over-tightening. You can easily crack a steerer tube or damage other parts. So let's look at some parts you want to look at. Let's start with the big boy here. This is a TW30. You're not going to use this as often, but there are a few places you should use this. One would be your bottom bracket. If you're experiencing bottom bracket creak, a lot of times you're going to need this in order to torque your bottom bracket correctly. And the torques, they vary quite a lot by manufacturer, but you're usually looking somewhere in the range of 35 to 50 Newton meters for the BB. Another place you may want to check are your center lock rotors. Also, you're looking at a torque of around 40 Newton meters for those. Another place you typically are going to look is your cassette lock ring. Again, you're looking around 40 Newton meters for this. Now, this tool goes all the way up to 60 Newton meters, so it will cover the full range. Now, for other parts like your stem, your seat post, you don't need something quite so hardcore. With that, you want a good standard torque wrench, and this one goes from 2 all the way up to 15, which is plenty. Now, again, the numbers vary a lot by manufacturer. In part, you want to look, and for example, on this stem here, it has a maximum of 6 Newton meters. Great. A lot of times you're gonna see 6, 5.2 Newton meters. It changes from company to company. Another place you're gonna definitely wanna look at these 2 bolts and also the bolts here that attach the stem to the handlebar. With gravel bikes, they're forever getting loose. Another thing you're gonna wanna look at is your seat binder. If it's a wedge or a clamp, you're gonna wanna get in there and check your torque. This one also says 8 Newton meters. So again, it varies from part to part and company to company. Another thing you're gonna wanna probably take a look at is gonna be on the back side here, your crank arm bolts. For Shimano, you're looking at about 13 Newton meters. It's 12 to 14 Newton meters. And you wanna check to make sure your crankset is properly attached to the bike. These do get loose, not that often, but they do with time. Other things you can look at are the actual chainring bolts, and that is accessed from behind here. You can check out your front derailleur bolt, which holds it to the frame, and you can even check the bolt that holds your rear derailleur to the frame. These don't come loose that often, but it's something about every 3 to 6 months you might want to just take a quick look at. And I guess maybe the last thing you really want to look at, and also more common, would be these 2 bolts down here. They do also tend to get loose from time to time, especially on a gravel bike. All right, that should do ya. All right, we've taken a good look at your bike. We've checked all the torques. Your bike is ready. You are ready. Get out there, start riding your bike. So now that you've ridden your bike and it was awesome, you had a great time, please like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, just leave them down below.